lessons should we, as ordinary Indians, learn from a millennium of humiliation? Yes, the Chinese speak about their century of humiliation, don't they? They teach every child in school about the century of humiliation. That China was humiliated by the whites, by the Westerners for a century. We have been, have, we were under foreign occupation for in various parts of the subcontinent for over 1,000 years, starting with Gandhar, starting with Sindh, even before Gandhar. And we still are colonized, by the way. We still are laboring under a colonial system, which has never been removed. And we don't know that. So our millennium of humiliation is continuing, by the way. It's not over. India remains deeply mentally, culturally, civilizationally, and institutionally enslaved and colonized. First of all, that is the first lesson we have to learn. The millennium of humiliation is not over, it is continuing. We are still colonized. First of all, understand that. That's the first lesson. It's not over. Now, what are the lessons we have to learn? So many lessons. Look, people ask, how do we take revenge for the millennium of humiliation? Revenge on the Turks, revenge on the Europeans, and so on. You don't take revenge. The best form of revenge for all humiliations, whether in personal life or as a civilization, what's the best form of revenge? The best form of revenge is success. Success. India needs to succeed. India needs to reclaim its historical position as the greatest civilization, as the most prosperous civilization. That is revenge. We are nowhere close to achieving this revenge, right? Yeah. Secondly, we have to understand, Indians love soft power. Indians soft power this, soft power that, blah blah blah. Why did we fall prey to foreign occupation? Soft power. Maybe soft power was one of the problems. Soft power is a mirage. It's useless. It's worthless. Soft power is pointless unless it is backed up by hard power, actual hard power. Understand what the world respects, understand what the world fears. Hard power. Prioritize hard power. How do you prioritize hard power? By becoming an economic powerhouse. There's no other way. India must reclaim its historical position as the world's largest economy, the greatest economy in the world. This requires sustained, long-term, high economic growth, right? We have to reach the $10 trillion mark first, and then the $15 trillion mark. Eventually, we will be, putting out these marks in Indian rupees, not in dollars. But right now, we talk about dollars because the dollar is the world's reserve currency. So we have to grow to these marks. Right now, we are not even a $5 trillion economy. Soon we will be. So 5, then 10, then 15. We have to keep on moving. We have to keep on hitting these milestones, right? That's the only way. If you to increase your hard power and gain the respect and fear of those who do not seek you well. And once you have money, you have to invest it in the right places. It should not be splurged on these lardli behena yojanas and whatnot they're doing. It has to be invested in the military, in science. There's no progress without science. Science is vital for progress. So India needs to bolster its military strength. India needs to achieve excellence in science and technology, which will not come without merit. A meritocratic society. No more reservations. Are we anywhere close to that? Are we learning any of the lessons of the millennium of humiliation? Right? So we cannot compromise on excellence on science, excellence in science and technology. We need to have one of the world's best space programs. Are we anywhere close to that? Our space program is sleeping right now. The Chinese are going ahead in leaps and bounds. The Chinese are developing reusable rocket technology. What are we doing? Nothing. Yeah. Okay. Next, India must become a manufacturing power, obviously, right? Otherwise, you can't grow your economy. India has to achieve self-sufficiency in autarky, essentially. The way Russia is an autarky, completely self-sufficient in everything. whether it is raw materials, whether it is iron, whether it's copper, whether it is oil, whether it's gas, whether it is chemicals, whether it's fertilizers, whether it is agriculture, whatever you can think of, Russia is self-sufficient in those things. So is the US. India needs to become that, right? Completely self-sufficient in all critical resources, agriculture, industries, etc., technology, right? Complete autarky. Now, what about leadership? What about governance? We need reforms on that. We need reforms in these fields. We need to have a strong, unified leadership. The past 3,000 plus years of history teach us that India has done well only when it has been unified under a strong central leadership. I can give you the examples of the Mauryan Empire, the Kushan Empire, the Gupta Empire, the Chola Empire, even for some time, little bit of time, the Maratha Empire. Strong central leadership, right? India needs strong central leadership to unify the country and keep the country immune from external aggression. India needs meritocracy, like I said. Reservations are the bane of India. They will destroy India. India also needs meritocracy in succession of leadership. Kingdoms, nations, empires disintegrate because of poor leadership succession. And what threatens leadership succession? Elections. So India needs to have a system that promotes the best possible leaders and puts forth the best possible leaders, not the most popular. The best leaders are not necessarily the most popular. The best leaders can often be unpopular because they make hard choices which the general population won't understand, right? So that has to happen. We need to prioritize the national interest. We need leaders who prioritize the national interest, right? Not the popular, whatever is popular right now. Yeah, they need to avoid the mistakes made by past leaders. We have to follow the ancient statecraft of India, the Chanakya Niti, the timeless teachings, the precepts of Vishnugupta Chanakya, right? Our other rival nations, they follow Chanakya Niti far better than us. Even Pakistan follows Chanakya Niti better than India. So that's where we are. We also need to wage a war on corruption. We need to reform our internal systems. We need to raise our national standards. We are currently a super mediocre nation. We are a nation of incremental tiny change. Look at the way ISRO progresses. What major progress has ISRO made in its capabilities in the past 10 years? 2010, 9 or wherever it was, we launched Chandrayaan 1, the first one. Where are we now? Chandrayaan 3. 2 happened, 3 happened. But have we developed rockets that are like 10 times more powerful in the past 10 years? No. Have we developed a single reusable rocket? Have we even tested one? No. All tiny little increments. Lack of vision, lack of leadership, lack of ambition, right? Where are we raising our standards? We're not. Then we have to reject this image of weakness. This false image that has been projected by historians and leaders, that India is mainly historians, that India is a nation of losers and weaklings whose core philosophy is pacifism. We need to reject that. We have to decolonize our minds. Indians need to mentally decolonize themselves. And we have to realize, like I said, that India is still colonized. And the millennium of humiliation has not ended. We need to reject this pacifist ideology, this non-violence. All of that needs to be dumped into the trash bin. Don't ask yourself, what would Mr. Gandhi do? Ask yourself, what would Kali do? Yeah, that's a lesson that we have to learn from the past 1,000 years. We have to regain self-respect in culture and traditions. We have to regain our sense of civilizational pride. We have to learn our true history. We have to overall education. We have to adopt Sanskrit if that's possible. We have to be ruthless with our enemies. We have to play the long game, hide and bide, and so on. I mean, I could give you a 2-hour lecture on this, but I hope you get the point of what I'm trying to say. These are some of the lessons that we as a regular ordinary Indians can learn and should learn from the past millennium of humiliation, which still continues. We haven't come out of it. We haven't come out of it. No matter what your favorite leader tells you, we haven't come out of it.